everybody, every stakeholder in the political process, they are putting aside their different views and they are working together. They realize that the country is lag far behind compared to even neighboring countries. So we must work together. We must put aside a political difference, and they have adopted tolerance and culture of dialogue. So this is the happiest thing I ever see in our political system.
And I think now where we are is, in broad policy terms, I think we're kind of, we've accomplished most of what we need to do. And I think on the side of the Burmese government, they've taken lots of very, very forward-leaning policy positions. But now we're getting to the implementation part. That's where it's going to get really hard, for sure.
Yeah.
But we've got this great relationship, and we're, as a government, really, I think, gearing up rapidly to help in any way we can to build the capacity to see this transition through.
It's quite remarkable to see how much the Parliament itself, with the NLD in its midst, and the NLD, by the way, is the second largest party in the Parliament. It's amazing to see how much they act now as a consensual body. It's not divided between government and opposition. They don't identify themselves that way. They work together. They organize. The Speaker of the lower house organizes them around problems and solving issues, solving problems, rather than taking sides. The role of the military in the country is connected in the minds of the people with the country's stability and cohesion. And it's difficult to just think about suddenly extracting them from the role they've been playing. It's interesting, we had a session in Washington yesterday, and there were a number of Myanmar participants there, 2 from the government and 2 from the '88 exile generation. And it was the exile folks who said, you should not expect the military to be pulling back from either political or economic life until the next generation. That it's going to take, as you say, a change in mindset, which is generational, before they're comfortable moving in a completely different direction. So that just tells me that even the dedicated former opposition sees this in very long-term perspective, that it's a social process that the country has to go through.
The government is quite serious to end the armed conflict, because of this armed conflict, and our country has suffered a lot. We cannot make progress economically. We cannot make progress in economic development because of the insurgency. We are fighting each other for over 60 years. So now, because of the success of the peace process, I think the guns has fallen silent in every corner of our country.
I think with respect to the violence in the central part of the country, which took us very much by surprise, because the ambassador's right also that Burma does have this very peaceful sort of view of a Buddhist tradition overall, and I think I kind of agreed with the point you made at the beginning. I think when you go through a transition like this, you can see elsewhere that countries, new governments that are trying to behave, and security forces, frankly, that aren't trained to control civil disruption in a humanitarian way. Suddenly, maybe it's a good sign they're conscious of the fact that, well, I can't just go shoot people. I have, but then if you don't have the training, you don't have the equipment, you don't know what to do, that can be a problem. I think the only solution is accountability. The ambassador's right. What we've seen in the media more is a focus on the Muslims who have been prosecuted. And I would make the point, and we have heard reports that both communities, there have been people prosecuted from both communities, but I think the point is that it's important that both communities be seen to be held accountable. It's not, being held accountable is important, but being seen to be held accountable is what is ultimately, I think, going to help tamp down the violence.
Yeah, I think as Ike has mentioned, we share a long border with China. So China is our close and traditionally our very close and friendly neighbor. During our difficult time, China is the one who has supported all along even the Security Council in the multilateral fora. And also when we are imposed by sanctions from the Western world, I think China and the Asian countries are those we have to turn to for trade or investment. So for our opinion, in our opinion, we want to maintain good relations between with China as well as the United States. So this is not a zero-sum game. We can make friends together at the same time.